Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. It is Saturday, 12:25 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And here I come to you again with the world in outrage. Not only about the depiction of the Last Supper, now we are in outrage of the madness of the world that we live in. Oh yes, it is a very, very mad world. Today's topic is going to be about Iman Khelif from Algeria and Angelia from Italy, the boxing match. Iman Khelif in 2023 was rejected to compete in the World Championships because he failed 2 female tests, indicating that his chromosomes were XY. However, the IOC differs on that matter. Let's hear a quote from Mark Adams, the spokesman for the IOC. Quote, Khelif was born female, was registered female, lived her life as a female, boxed as a female, has a female passport, end of quote. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care what is on that passport. I don't care what is on that birth certificate, whether it was manufactured, whether it was compromised, I don't know. However, I don't care. I look at the science. I look at biology. God made male and female, and He did it in such a way that women have XX chromosomes and males have XY. Therefore, Iman Khelif, I have nothing against you. God bless you. But you have no right to compete in a woman's competition because you couldn't make it through a man's competition, or because you identify as a male, which in years past when I grew up, that was a dysphoria, a mental dysphoria condition. Now, ironically, they're calling Iman Khelif, because he was born with the XY chromosome, they're saying now and trying to convince the world that he has a disorder. How much more do these organisers and people of the world, leaders and influencers and minority groups, are going to insult our intelligence, dear viewers? That poor young lady, Angelia, her family and friends, as I was researching this, I tried calling her to say to her, please don't compete. He's a male. And I'm sure she was aware, he was disqualified last year because he had XY chromosome, failed 2 female tests, and they wouldn't allow him to compete. He might kill you. Well, what happened to poor Angelia? What ended up happening is that one hit in the nose caused her nose to bleed, and she went off to her coach. She shared with the coach the hit was so hard she felt she was going to be knocked out. But she didn't stop there. This is what you call a brave, courageous woman. She didn't stop there. What she did was she went back on into the boxing ring, and she continued. But then another hit came, and she raised her glove to surrender, fell to the ground in utter despair, wailing with sobs of just failure, defeat. This young lady, as we have seen in other women's sport, where men are identifying as women, have trained for years and years and years. You tell me, viewers, where's the justice in this? You tell me, where's the logic? Okay, let's put it this way. How about we look at logic? Maybe that might help us, hey? Little bit of logic may go a long, long way. Let's look at logic. I'm Lebanese. How about I go out and bomb or wear a suicide bomb vest? And my final letter is, I identify as a terrorist. Therefore, my final letter to my family and friends is to let them know that because I identify as a terrorist, I will do what a terrorist does. I love you all. I'll miss you all. Goodbye. Sound far-fetched? It's not. This is the madness our world is living in. So mad that our children are identifying as cats. I'll give you a true story. There was a comedian last year, I'm not going to give his name because he mentioned his daughter. He didn't mention his daughter's name. His daughter came home at 9 years old, very upset. He and the wife asked how her day was. She said, I couldn't listen to the teacher at all. The father questioned her why. She said, we have a person in our classroom, Daddy, that identifies as a cat, and she kept meowing. Well, the dad was livid. And then he was saying to his audience, I had to sort of explain to my daughter a few things. He didn't share what. But then he said, what I felt like saying is, well, you go in tomorrow and you say, let me backtrack. He asked the daughter how she felt. The daughter said, I felt like punching her in the face. That's what the daughter said. She was so exasperated. She didn't learn a thing. And then he shares with the audience, I felt like saying to her, well, do it. Just do it. And if your teacher asks you, why did you do that? Well, you just answer the teacher, well, I'm identifying as a lion. And that's what a lion does. Do you see how illogical this is? This world has become. They have discarded science. They want to brainwash us to think that these things are real. They're teaching it to our children. They're providing kitty litter in the toilets for kids. I have a niece who has somebody in the class that identifies as a cat, and the mother encourages it. She bought her a tail. It is utter ridiculous insanity, to say the least. And now poor Angelia Carini no longer has a chance. All that she's fought for, all that she's trained for, all that she's competed for, all shattered to the ground. Because we live in an insane world that wants us to believe black is white and white is black, and whatever you feel, that's a fact. Oh, okay, somebody angered me today. I feel and identify as a murderer. Why aren't all these murderers out of prison identifying as murderers? Why aren't all these pedophiles out of prison and not registered on a pedophile register, saying that they that they identify as a pedophile? Do you see? You will say that it's far-fetched. You're going too far now. So no, I'm not. When they passed the law for gay marriage, even though gay people came out and their children, I did an extensive study and look into this, and they shared, we're going to say no. They were shunned by the gay community. They were shunned and bullied by the LGBTQI community. They stood, I actually saw this on mainstream media, would you believe, and shared. We do not agree. We felt we missed out on a mum and dad. We love our lesbian mothers. We love our homosexual fathers. But we do not believe in them going into the sanctity of marriage. We are the children. We are sharing how we felt. We are now being ostracized by our parents' community, but we are only going by our conscience. Then there was the other gay couple for the fashion designers for the stars, gay men, right? And they said, no, Europe has done it. It's not succeeding. Don't do it. All the stars dropped them. I heard that on the ABC radio. No, it wasn't. On Fox FM with Jackie O and Kyle Sanders. Yep. And they were just aghast. They said, really? And they interviewed the gay couple and they said, yes. Because the gay lifestyle, not all, but most, is very promiscuous. There's something intrinsic to them where they can't stick to one partner. They may be married for a while, but then statistically, they actually shared statistically, and I've heard Dr. Phil say this too, that the gay couples actually commit adultery more so. And I mean, I do not bring this across and think that I'm hating on gays. I love gays. I have friends and family that are gay. This is not the issue here. The issue here is speaking truth, whether you want to hear it or not. And that's just another example of the world trying to bring humanity in this almost twilight zone of insanity, and then they're wondering why our children are all depressed and on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. It's because they are confused by what they're being taught when we weren't being taught such horrific things. We were taught a language, science, geography, history. We didn't have drag queens in kindergarten come and read drag queen story time. We didn't have watching the Olympics as a family event. The Last Supper portrayed a religious sacred event portrayed that has nothing to do with sport. We didn't have male competitors in female sports. No, we didn't. This has got to stop. Sanity requires to prevail. Science requires to prevail. This is an utter atrocity to all these women. How insulting, how degrading. And you know what, Iman Khelif, let me share with you, I feel very sorry for you. My heart bleeds for you. Oh, my heart bleeds. I cannot tell you how much. Because you couldn't compete in a male competition, you couldn't cut it. I don't know what's going on with you. That's between you, yourself, and eventually one day God, when you're going to face him, whether you believe it or not. You will. I don't, you online, my dear viewers, I have love for you all, whatever you think you are, what you believe in, but be sure of this, whether you believe it or not. And if it's not true, which I believe it is, there's too much evidence otherwise to disqualify its truth, you're going to face God one day when he is on his judgment seat, and you're going to have to answer to him. This life is but a blink of an eye, a whisper gone by. It's over in a second. We think it goes so long, but it doesn't. When you look back at your life, I mean, I have a 30-year-old son. Where did the 30 years go? I often say to myself, my daughter's 28. Where did the years go? A blink of an eye, this life is. This madness in our society requires to cease now. This is not right. It's deeply disturbing and deeply unethical, and it has to stop. Otherwise, this world is in for so much evil that every one of you are not going to know what you're going to do with yourself until you begin to stand up for righteousness, justice, scientific facts, not feelings, running away into your corner. Oh, my feelings were hurt. Oh, poor little me. Wah, wah, wah. No. Not all of us are winners. Not all of us are artists. Not all of us are sportsmen. Not all of us are engineers. Not all of us are doctors. Not all of us are fashion designers. Not all of us are interior designers. We all have our own giftings and we use them accordingly. We don't manufacture and identify as something. I don't go into a the surgery room and perform a surgery being a writer. I mean, that's absurd. This is the absurdity we are facing today. The IOC, the Olympic organisers, shame on you. You're disgraceful. And, I mean, I don't know how anybody are watching these games. I mean, that's your right according to my Christian worldview. That's your right. I refuse to watch them. It is an absolute joke, to say the least. It's unbearable. I used to love watching the Olympics. I love gymnastics. I love the swimming. I love the diving. I won't watch it. And I really want to say, Angela, you're a brilliant young woman. You'll never see this, but I will hashtag you because you are a brilliant, brave young woman. Until the next time, dear viewers, au revoir.